So, my name is Rodrigo. I'm gonna be teaching this class, but EME298, but it's gonna be kind of like a different setup that you guys have seen in other classes, just because when we're running the equipment in the machine shop, we can't supervise like one person supervising 12 students. So the way that it works is we're gonna have Dr. Haddad and Dr. Batarai also in the machine shop. So each of us is gonna take a lead in one of the machines. So guys are gonna rotate in groups, and then each group goes to one of the machines, and then you do all the exercises, and then as soon as we're done with your group, then we switch, right? So it's it's a different setup that I've seen before. That's also the reason why we only have 12. And actually right now we're changing it, that when you're in there, it's gonna be one-on-one. You're gonna be there with you and the professor. So it's gonna be one person with me, one person with Asal, and one person with Shaw. Just because you wanna make sure you can learn as much as you can in the contact hours that we have, and that also nobody's gonna get hurt, right? So today we're gonna talk about the syllabi and what you were expected, and we're gonna talk about safety and procedures that we have, and we're gonna talk a little bit about the equipment that we're gonna be looking at, right? So I'm gonna try to record the classes. I don't know if the recording is gonna be any good. It's mainly for me to remember my jokes. It's just because sometimes we might say something in the class that's not on the PowerPoint presentation, but at least if you can go back and watch it again, right? And as soon as we finish class, I can go and upload, and then you guys don't have to wait on me too. So one of you is going to be traveling for athletics or something, then you guys can actually have this information too. Good. So I was filling up the syllabi. So if you guys don't know me, I'm the one that's running back and forth all day. So it's gonna be impossible for me to be sitting and waiting for you guys, but you guys can at any time come and see me. You just stop me at any time, so you don't have to wait for office hours. And then if you have a specific question, then you can come talk to me, or you can come talk to Saul or Vishal about your question. And sometimes we're gonna direct you, you should talk to this person because he's the one that takes care of this, or you should talk to this person. But yeah, it's a pretty small school, and we know everybody, so you're gonna see gets comfortable to actually come and talk to us. You guys are gonna be that one. It's not that I'm filling up. Yeah, you guys have Tuesdays and Thursdays. So in this class, we're gonna start with 3 different modules. So we're gonna have welding. We're gonna have vertical mill, and we're gonna have the lathe. So you guys are gonna be splitting in 3 groups of 4, 12, right? And what we're gonna do, we are gonna have a couple lectures in here, just the first, so today, and one other lecture in here, but otherwise, almost 100% of the time we're gonna be in the shop. However, we're changing something, so we can actually have more contact hours with you, one-on-one, because I can have 4 of you on my station, but I can only look at one at a time, right? So it's not a very good use of your time if you're there and not paying even attention at you, And then that's when there's room for people to start horseplaying, and then like somebody gets hurt in there. Not that it ever happened, but like we don't want it to happen at any time. So we're changing the setup a little bit. So we are gonna have exercises that we're gonna complete. The exercise means you're gonna cut the stock, you're gonna take to the machine, you're gonna do all the work, and that's the exercise. So then the professor is actually bring you there. First, the group of 4 people, and show you 100% of the exercise. And your job that day is to take notes and ask questions, right? And then the following class, instead of having a class or a lab, we're going to split into 2 groups. So we're going to have, let's say that we have student 1, student 2, student 3, and student 4. First day, everybody comes to class. It's going to be the professor doing it. The second time that you have a lab, we have a 1 hour, 15-minute class. Student number 1 is going to be there for 30 minutes. Student number 2 is going to be there for 30 minutes. And we want you to complete the whole exercise that we just did in the previous class. So that's why your job is actually to take notes. And as you're gonna notice, machining or welding or any kind of these jobs, you want to actually line up exactly what you're gonna do. So so the professor is gonna say, first we cut this at this, and then we want you to actually start on your mind, but for us it's gonna be on the paper. You're gonna have to deliver to us what you're gonna do step by step. The same way that the professor is gonna tell you, now you're gonna do this. Okay, so he did this, So we're gonna try to do that. If you weren't having a good day, or you forgot about it, and you're I just saw the professor doing the stuff, but I don't remember how we were gonna do it. So we're gonna have videos of that same exercise that might be done by the professor that's helping you, or another professor. Most likely a Dr. Carrico is gonna be on those videos, showing you the same exercise that either Asal or Vishal did. And then you're gonna write up all that you're gonna do, you're gonna deliver to us, and then when is your turn to come in, you go there and you perform the exercise. We're gonna help you, we're gonna grade you based on how much help do you need. And then, what's the student 3 and 4 doing? So there's gonna be a lecture for you to actually watch and complete a quiz. So it's not a time off. You're just gonna be having to do something on the side, right? So technically, nobody's off. Nobody's off. And then next week, we just flip this. So 3 and 4 are in the class, and 1 and 2 is actually doing the work. So why are we doing this? Before, we had a lecture. So we had a bunch of, actually we had a lecture lab. And on the lectures, we would cover mechanical measurements or measurements, tolerances, and then the lathe and the mill but the problem was the student only, so imagine you were you were welding, and the welding class is not gonna even happen until 7 weeks from now. So it's kind of not at the same pace, But now, as all the lectures are gonna be given to you beforehand, you guys just watch the lecture and then you come or you see me doing it, and then you come watch the lecture at home. Because as you guys know, all the classes is gonna have like a certain number of credits, right? The class has I don't know, 1 credit, 3 credit, and those credits mean how much time we're gonna spend in the classroom and how much time we're gonna spend at home, right? So we actually also have to have like you guys doing some work on the side. Good? So, and you guys can stop me and ask at any time. So the idea is, if you miss class, then how we're gonna do this, you know? And I know that you guys might be in athletics, and let's say you play baseball, you're gonna be out for 2 weeks. That's how the schedule is. So you just have an excuse of absence. It's your responsibility to come up with, you know, I'm pretty this is my schedule, this is when I can come in, you know, it's your responsibility to come and reach out to us and actually schedule what you have to do. We're not gonna be like come on, if you don't come, you're not gonna pass, you know. I think we passed 2nd grade already, right? So I think this is pretty much like everything that's important about the syllabus is like the workload. So the grading is gonna be based on all the exercise that are gonna do. You start with 100%. You come and you're not ready. You don't know how to use the machine because you didn't watch. You didn't pay attention to what the professor was doing. You didn't take your notes. Then we start deducting your points. So we are gonna pretty much have like a 3. Hopefully, we're gonna be able to fit like a 3 exercises per machine. So 3 pieces that are gonna be welding, 3 pieces that are gonna mill, 3 pieces that are gonna turn on the lathe. And then all that's gonna give you a little bit of your grade, right? We're also gonna have a session on a 3D printing that's gonna fit in your semester somewhere. And it's gonna be different, because each group is gonna have a different session. So let's say on this week that a 3 and 4 is doing the lathe, I just say, instead of actually learning about the lathe, you just go and you watch this session about the 3D printing. And then later on we'll do the 3D printing. So we're gonna try to put everything in there. Why are we doing this? Because we had students in the past that they came in, and what we used to do was I would turn something on the lathe, then the student number 1 would step in, do the same step. Student number 2 would come in, do the same step. 3 and 4. So everybody was doing the same day all the steps, right? And the problem was that they didn't learn anything because they were just looking at something and just doing right away. The brain wouldn't actually absorb anything. Some students, they would learn because they were interested. But we can't allow room for students to actually pass and they don't know how to do the work. Mostly because we delivered this class earlier in our degree program because we wanted to actually use the machines from the machine shop in the projects that are going to have in your sophomore year, junior year, senior year. So we wanted to have this skill. But if you come in and you take the class and you don't know how to use, then you're not going to be able to use the machines. You know, now you have to teach me. No, you can come and take the class again if you want to use it, you know. So that's the thing. So any problem that you have with the class, you just come and tell us. You know, oh, this is not working for me. It's too boring. Your English is not good. Asol's English is not good. You know, you can tell us anything. Sometimes we're gonna listen to you, sometimes we're not. Okay, then we're gonna try to change. You know, we are always trying to find the best way of doing things, and just like as any engineering company, we're just doing continuous improvement on the fly. It's like Toyota. We don't wait until the next version to actually do improvements, right? And if you don't tell me throughout the semester, and then you come and you start crying and whining on the evaluations at the end, that didn't help you at all. You know, you could have told me in the first week, and then we could have fixed, so you would have a good experience, right? So I'm gonna try to release this syllabus as soon as I finish filling up. The most important document here would be, let's see, fall 24. Will be this one. And safety too. Safety is good. The tentative schedule. So you guys are Tuesdays and Thursdays, so you know, oh, I should be doing this, I should be doing that, you know. Because it's gonna be kind of a mess, because we have all this, who is going to the lab, who is not, when the professor is teaching the lab, what am I watching here, what I'm watching there, when is my quiz due, you know. So we're gonna try to have a very comprehensive, and then if you have any questions, you can let me know. However, I don't want this student actually at the end of the semester come to me and say, you know, I didn't pass because there was no good communication with the professor. You know, we're here every day. You have to be on top of your stuff, you know. And with it in the engineering school, how many are transfers here? One. All right. So you guys took ENR 200 last year, right? It doesn't matter if it's our first engineering class. We're gonna consider that as if you were adults now. There are due dates, you have to be on top of your stuff. Why? As soon as you graduate, you can whine about your boss. You know, he's your boss. He's just gonna lay you off and then what, you know? So it's like an exercise. It's like going to the gym. So we're just gonna stay on top of it. If you guys are falling behind, oh, there are too many classes, there's too much homework, I can't organize. Okay, then we sit down and we work on something different. They're okay, how do I organize my time, you know? Which is something that's important too. So if it's all about making sure it works for you, but I can only help you if you tell me that you need help, you know? All right, so this is also gonna be out there. So you guys are Tuesdays and Thursdays, you know. So today we're going to talk about the syllabus, lab safety and procedures, and machine tools, right? All right. All right. Let's do it like that. All right. So the idea is we're going to talk about some basic rules, which should be common sense. But common sense is not common, so we have to talk about it. There's what you can wear or not, and things that might happen in there, you know. So every time that you go to the machine shop, you're gonna put all your stuff on those cubby holes outside. You see there's a machine shop the glass windows on the back. That's the place where you put all your stuff, you know. You're gonna actually get all not dressed up, but all organized before going in the machine shop. We're gonna talk about the attire later, but we expect you to come a few minutes early. I know that sometimes I'll have a class that's across from campus and this and that. Then you guys let us know. But like the idea is, if you take longer to arrive, you take longer to join, and then now it's gonna get messy, right? So you organize, you put our stuff in there. You can have your cell phone with you. However, we don't want you guys using your cell phone all the time. So you can have your cell phone on you. If you're expecting a call, you can tell me. You can come outside and take the call. It's fine, just like if you're working. But we're not gonna be playing when taking pictures in there and messing up, because when you're in there, if something goes wrong, either somebody's gonna get hurt or you're gonna break the equipment. We don't have paper cuts in there. So we are trying to minimize the number of students in there at one time. So there's less of a horseplay in there. Because you're gonna see the vertical mill is positioned here, the lathe is positioned here. So we have kind of 8 students all bundling together in there. So it's important for you to be paying attention of what's happening all the time. Because sometimes somebody else is putting themselves in risk and they don't even know, but you can see what's happening. So you are kind of responsible for everybody in there. If you see something that's wrong, you come and tell us. You say, stop, don't put your hand there. And all these machine tools, as we're going to talk about, they all are rotating machines, right? Something in there is rotating at a very fast speed. So there is an extra safety problem that we have with long hair, long sleeves. So that's why we have to pay a double attention. And if, as I said, if there's an accident, it's really, really, really bad. It's impossible to hit the stop button before something happens. So we're gonna try to be paying attention at everything in there. No food in there. Oh, I just came back from lunch, but I couldn't have lunch then it's fine. You can eat outside, leave it on the cubes there and then eat later. I don't know. Because first you can make a mess, or you can get a bunch of metal shavings on your food. I don't know which ones. We're never gonna use compressed air to actually clean stuff or to play with it. Because when you're using the compressed air, you can actually shoot the metal shavings upwards. Let's say we're using the lathe or we're using the mill, all the shavings kind of go sideways. They don't go up. But if I'm cleaning stuff with with the compressed air, I can sure shoot something up. And if you look at how the machines are made, there are some vents so the motor cools and stuff. And usually the vents are facing down. So we're not gonna, or I can shoot something and it can go on somebody's eye, even though they have glasses, So we're gonna try. So we're not gonna use compressed air to clean equipment. We're gonna always use the PPE in there, all the protective equipment that's required. You are required to dress up in a specific way, which also I consider as a PPE. If you have concerns, you can bring to our attention. In the School of Engineering, you have access to a ton of stuff that you can just go there and use, like the 3D printers. But there are a few places that you need 100% of supervision. That's when you're using equipment that you can get hurt. So even after this class, if you want to use it, one of us is going to be there with you. We trust you, and at some point I see that you're proficient in using the machine, then most likely I'm gonna go and sit in my office, which if you guys notice, like it's the office that's between the Senior Design Center and the machine shop. And then I'm just gonna be listening to what they're doing, you know. And then if you push the wrong button, it goes wah, then I can go there and check on you, you know. But mostly we're gonna have like a supervision all the time. And training is required to operate the equipment. All right, so we're gonna be wearing in there. So we always need closed shoes, right? Some stations need something different, but this is actually the basic stuff, right? Always we're gonna have closed shoes, and you're always gonna use pants, right? Long hair has to be tied. If you want, oh, I want a tie, but I also want like a net. That's fine. We have netting in there. Like the long sleeves have to be folded. You can't just like pull them, because like eventually as you move, it's gonna slip down. So if you're wearing something that's so tight that you can't fold them back, then you have to go and change, you know. Or sometimes like somebody comes in and they have like a shirt that like say, but like but I don't have anything under it. It's like, okay, so I don't know what we're gonna do, you know, like you just can't use that. But and shirts have to be tucked in. So like any loose ends, we have to make sure that's not like loose, right? Because actually, as I said, like anything can get caught on those machines, and then now we're in trouble. And no rings and bracelets, because like what happened with rings is like imagine like you have a ring and you get hit right on where the ring is. Now the ring gets squished, and it's gonna take longer for us to be able to find a tool to come and cut the ring. So, and it's very common when that happens, the ring actually cuts off the person's finger. So, or it would just like pull off like all the skin, and it'd be like just like a bare bone. So we're gonna try not to use like rings there, right? And whenever you feel like I have this like a collar, but like you know, this doesn't come out. That's fine. We're gonna figure something out. The problem is, the rules, they are there to actually protect us. Can we break rules? Sure. The problem is, once we break a rule, then we're out of the safety area. You know, it's just like can I use this without the guard? Yeah, but now that thing was to guard us. Now there's nobody guarding us. You know, now I have to be twice because like as an engineer, there is a chance that you are gonna have to nobody's gonna touch unless you go there and you figure it out, and then you're gonna have to get inside of the machine. But then now, if the machine explodes, you are in there. You know, so like can you get inside of the machine? You shouldn't, but it's your job. So like so that's the idea. Like we're gonna always be required to do something that goes beyond the user. We're gonna try to stay in the safety area, but then like we have to know that if we actually go beyond what the user should be doing, then we're exposed. You know, there's a chance that so we have to be more careful than usual. So
I would like to add something in required diet. So you always have to be on your safety classes, because even if you're not working, somebody else might be working. Those flying chips can come with your eyes. That's very risky. Another thing is you may feel like wearing gloves so that you don't get your hands dirty, touch all those things. But wearing glove is a very bad idea. You don't want to wear gloves when operating those machines, because those rotating machines may not only take gloves, but they also take hands with it.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about this, but like that's good. So the idea is, whenever you're in there, so this was the attire. Like now, whenever you're in there, you need to have safety glasses. If you already have glasses, we have the over glasses, so we wear over the top, right? So we need those all the time. And so this is what we need all the time. And each machine might actually ask for another PPE. So this one, like let's say welding, you need the welding mask, you need the welding gloves, you need that's the PPE for that one station. At the same time that some machines, they actually require the opposite of the PPE, like you can't be using this. Like many of the machine tools, as I say, like they have exposed rotating parts, and as Shaw said, like if your gloves get caught, then you're in there. So but then like what if I'm like trying to work on something that's hot? So like and this is gonna happen. You're gonna weld something, and then you're gonna come and you're gonna try to grind so it can come back to the welder and continue working. We're gonna that's why we have procedures. So okay, now we're gonna get this. We're gonna use like a vice grip plier so you can hold the piece, so like you don't touch it, but like you're not, so like we're gonna. That's why we actually have all this, as I said, like a step by step of what we're gonna do. So you might need a dust mask, face shield, hearing covers, hearing protectors, gloves, and as I said, the lathe and the vertical mill, we have no gloves. We can add here like the grinder. No gloves, hair tie or hair net, and then welding booth. So we're gonna talk about all this when we go in there, right? And one more thing here for the welding station. You would have to wear shoes that doesn't have like a soft fabric on top. So for example, all these shoes that have like mine here, that has this soft fabric, like some breathable fabric on top. Can you wear those? Yes, but you're gonna feel all the sparks that are flying on your foot, and it's not comfortable. Can you do it? Yes. Most likely it's not gonna damage your shoe, but like we actually ask for you guys if you guys have what they call like work shoes or boots or something that's like it could be leather, it could be like a thicker fabric like those. Or if you have questions, we can talk about this later. Right. So alright, so the idea of like what we're gonna do is we're always gonna try to protect the person first. Right? When we're in there, we're all paying attention at everybody. And then second, we're gonna try to protect the equipment. Second. Right? So if you have any health condition, or today is not a good day, something is happening, I took a medicine for this one thing and then now I'm drowsy, like whatever happens, I went to the party last night and I'm still feeling it. So you let me know. And just because you can get yourself in a very bad spot, or you can put somebody else in a very bad spot, then we have a problem. So if you have any health condition, you can let me know. and we're gonna work with it. Or any detail that might affect your safety that you might tell us. And you don't have to tell us it like in the middle of everybody. You just talk to us on the side. So for all the equipment, when you come in, you can say, you know, Professor, I saw that one thing doesn't look right. There's a chance I'm gonna say, yeah, we know that that's like that. And it's fine. But like it's good to point it out, you know. You never know. Oh, there's that wire that's like the insulation came off. Oh, there was maybe a student like I used like a senior came in with another professor. They used it right before us, and then now they left like this, you know. So then it's good to actually look at all the equipment all the time. Some equipment like the grinder, where I have to inspect every time, because like every time that we turn on, there's a chance that like something is gonna go bad, you know. But we're gonna talk about that when we actually use the grinder. So just like it's just good communication, you know. So we're gonna try to arrive and things are clean, and we're gonna try to clean up before we leave, right? Especially now that we have like 2 sessions running, Mondays and Wednesdays and Tuesdays and Thursdays. If I leave all my stuff out, then those guys are gonna leave all their stuff out, and then now it's gonna be a mess, you know? Because we have like 4 students, like now 8 students per station, because 4 in this session, 4 in the other session. So the idea is, like, let's try to clean up. So tools go back into the tool. Now that our setup's a little different than last year, the professor's gonna do 100% of the work one day, and then next day, then it's good if you actually put everything back, because that's part of like what we wanted to do. Oh, I'm gonna use this one end mill, but to go with this one end mill, I have to grab this one collet, because this is the collet that goes with this end mill. Before, the professor would go in there, they would grab the end mill, they would grab the collet, they would put it in, and then everybody would use the same, because everybody was doing the same step. So now, how do I know that you have to that if you grab this end mill, you have to use that collet? Now it's something that we can actually gauge or understand, right? And usually, the station that actually makes the most mass is the vertical mill. So usually the shavies don't fly to the welding, so the welding people are gonna clean up their space. But then between the mill and the lathe, usually whoever's in the mill is gonna clean up. And then in the next, as all the groups are gonna rotate through the mill, maybe this week and that week and the following week is not time for you guys to clean, but you are gonna eventually get to the new part, right? Do you guys have any questions? I know today's very boring, I know, but it's necessary. All right, so machine tools. So all the machine tools, there's some sort of like a rotating equipment, right? So we have the drill press for you to drill something. You have the lathe that the stock rotates, and the cutter, it's stationary. You position so you can make the cuts. You have the power saw. Then for us, we have the horizontal bend saw, we have the milling machine and the grinder. So they're all stationary. That means it's a big equipment that's sitting there. It's power driven. There's an engine, a motor, or something running it. And in this case, we're using to cut metal. What makes it different? So like, what does the drill press? How is it different than my drill? So why is my DeWalt drill at home is not like a machine tool? It's because it's not stationary. And another thing that actually makes it different is there's no trigger on these ones. That's why you have a safety button to actually make the machine stop. So, but as I said, like, we're never gonna be fast enough that we can make it stop before, if somebody gets caught, by the time that we push the button, it's already too late, you know? So, we're gonna try our best not to ever need to push the button, but the button is there. And we're gonna show you guys how to use it. But there's no trigger, like the machine is running, like it doesn't matter if you want it or not, you know, unless you turn it off. So the way that this worked in the past, there weren't small engines. There were just like a huge engines, you know. So then somebody had a great idea of actually putting an engine outside of a closet or something, or a workspace, and then you run a shaft over the whole place, and then you have belts coming down, and that's how you would split the power from into like a manual machines, you know. So that's why all these machines are rotating machines, you know. So like it's just like grabbing the power from somewhere, from all this engine or motor or whatever, and splitting into all these different stations. So the drill press that we have is what we call a sensitive one, because you are holding the lever to bring it down. So you're actually feeling if there's something wrong with it. If it's actually vibrating, you can feel it. We're going to talk about it on the lathe, and like actually this is a good part of like something that we're going to try to learn is like we can feel if something is going wrong, and then we can stop before something happens, right? So we have, usually they'll say if it's a bench top or it's a pedestal being the one that just sits on the floor instead of sitting on top of a workbench. So we have a pedestal one, and we can use our vertical mill as a drill press too. But so the lathe that we have is a gear head lathe, because the same way as before, you can actually change a bunch of belts and change speeds and feeds on it. But for us, our lathe is just like a turn knobs and gears and change gears, and then that's the lathe that we have. We're gonna have a lot like lectures for guys to take, and as I said, like before, whoever's on the mill is gonna watch the mill classes. Whoever's on the lathe, so like you kind of stay current with how you're doing in the lab, right? So the power saw, our power saw is the bed saw. So there's a motor here, so the rotating pieces, and it's actually making the band go around, so it actually cuts the piece, right? Cuts the workpiece that we have in there. The difference between that and the hacksaw, the power hacksaw, is that the power hacksaw just like goes back and forth, just like what it would be doing by hand if it was a manual one. So the milling machine that we have is a vertical milling machine. Sometimes they call it like a knee machine. So your cutter goes vertical, and then we move around our stock so we can cut, right? The difference between the mini machine, because on our machine we have what they call a crosshair vise. So we can put something like our piece in there. So we have our we have our drill press here, and then we're gonna put whatever we're gonna drill down here on the stand, right? But our vise, we can actually move it around and go and move X and Y. So we can actually aim at the exact place that you want to drill, right? Instead of actually trying to. But you can't mill with this guy. This is not precise enough that you can mill with it, right? However, or on the other hand, you can put a chuck here and put a drill bit and actually find the precise position and then drill with this one. So you can use the vertical mill as the drill press. And we're gonna go more in depth in all this equipment when we get to it, right? Later on. So the grinder, we have a pedestal grinder. Most of the time we're gonna be using the grinder here when you're in the welding station, but you can be using with any other station too. And then we're gonna talk about the grinder when you are in the welding station. And I didn't talk about this. So because a CNC with a computer numerical machine, that means a machine that's actually run by the computer, because you can actually tell it to kill itself, you can say, can you just drill through the table? And it will, it's a computer. Computers are not smart, They don't, it doesn't run like a ChatGPT or something. Not that ChatGPT is smart, but so we actually wanted to know exactly what these machines can do, so you know how you should be working on the CNC. So as I said, we have 3 stations: welding, lathe, and vertical mill. You're gonna do all the exercises there, hopefully 3 exercises per station. And then somewhere in there, you're gonna go over 3D printing. And then after that, we're all gonna come back here so we can learn about the CNC. And then we're gonna have one project, or hopefully more, that we can actually have a piece that we draw or something, and then we create our G code, and then we take to our CNC router, and then we can make the cuts there, And then this way, the way that we're organizing right now, you're gonna have a different projects. You're gonna have 3 different things that go from beginning to end. And hopefully this need of actually going all the way from beginning to end in this one exercise, the beginning to end in the second exercise, and then that's gonna make so you guys are gonna absorb the content, So don't come to me next semester And it was like, oh no, I wanted to use this for the axle of my car for a engineering design lab, and I don't know how to use it, you know. So so you guys can have like a more exposure to the equipment. And as I said, like you guys can tell us if it's working, if it's not working, you like it, you don't like it, and then we're gonna try to talk between us and decide accordingly, like if it's going well or not, right? So I think this is it for today. I'm gonna post the video and gonna link and create the modules so you guys can see. Click here and then you can see my PowerPoint presentation. Click here and you can see the video, and load the tentative schedule so you guys can find everything in there, right? And according to my